Hi, everyone. Welcome to Unleash Her. So, hey, guys, I'm Roberta, and I am your host for the podcast. And I'm so grateful that you're here today. I have a very special guest, a new friend of mine, and I can't wait to introduce you. But before we go any further, I would absolutely love it if you guys would like and subscribe and download my podcast, my YouTube channel, because the more eyes that we get on this, the most amazing speakers that I get to showcase on my podcast. And so, without any further ado, I want to introduce you to my lovely friend, Cornelia. Hi, Cornelia. How are
Hi,
you?
Roberta. Hi, everybody. I'm just, the energy is very high over here. I'm
Oh,
so excited.
yes, we've got some serious energy going on. Cornelia, I did not pronounce your last name because I did not want to mess it up. So I'm going to let you do the honors and tell everybody where you're from and a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me, holding this beautiful space. And yeah, who am I? I'm Dr. Cornelia Kawan. And I'm, from my background, I'm an electrical engineer, but also a business and personal energy strategist. So you might now think, what's that, right? And I fully understand that. In a way, it's, you know, I when I was little, then I was always so fascinated with electric energy. When my mom plugged something in, and I always thought, what's behind there? That's so powerful that you just push this small button and then the magic happens. And so I really wanted to know. And that's why I actually studied electrical engineering. And I can tell you now I do know, right, how this power gets into the socket and how we can use it. But I also have to, I'm also a little bit a scientist, close to my heart. So for a long time, I thought, energy is just electric energy. But then I discovered, reading a lot of books, and I discovered there's so much more, and then I discovered the quantum science, and now you might think, oh wow, this is so academic, and there is doesn't have anything to do with real life. But actually, that's not true, because what quantum science just says everything is energy in a nutshell. And I started thinking about it, and what does it mean? Everything is just energy, and then, in a way, okay, like my phone and all these things around us, they're just energy and just vibrating on a very low frequency. So they seem in kind of hard to us. But on the other side, it's also every thought, every belief, every word we are saying, it just has a certain frequency and also a certain energy. And so I started experimenting with that. I'm kind of this researcher, and I thought, let's think about a limiting belief, right? So I was in very much in mindset work. And then there the techniques I learned is you have this limiting belief. Let's say like the most common one is I'm not good enough, right? And then you have this limiting belief, and then what you're doing is you're overwriting this limiting belief with I'm good or I'm good enough. And you have then all these post-its all over the place for 30 days, and then you forget one day, and then you have to start all over again. And I thought, wow, this is so hard, right? And there must be an easier, simpler way. And so I thought, and then I thought, but wait a minute, even if I'm overwriting it, the original limiting belief is still underneath there, right? That's not sustainable. So I thought, I want to have something that is really sustainable and is easier and faster. And that's why I thought, okay, let's see, this limiting belief is just a frequency. So if it's just a frequency, how about I just remove the frequency from my system? Then it needs to be gone. And then I thought, but wait a minute, there is a reason why this limiting belief is in my life. Why don't even I go a step further and look why this limiting belief is in my life in the first place and work there? And so in a way, that's how I got started with, and I call it personal energy strategist, because I show, especially women, how they can manage, their energy, their beliefs, because they're just energies as well. And because today, women with all these obligations, for their jobs, their business, their kids, their family, their spouse, their aging parents, they don't even have a chance to not knowing how to manage their energy. And that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Thank you for that explanation. I absolutely love this. I love your story. So you go from this, scientific engineering degree to opening up your mind completely and understanding energy. And I think that it's one of those things, you have to work with me here, but it sounds so easy. But why is it so hard? If I can say that.
Yeah, but the thing is, it doesn't have to be hard. And this is exactly the point what you're saying, right? I found many things we were taught or we learned, you need to do it like this. I found them very hard as well. And then this always, but does it really have to be like this? It's always this kind of questioning, because I I'm the queen of quick fixes, right? I really love to do things that work fast and easy and in that moment. And that's what I also thought, right? I also noticed there are so many similarities between electric energy and our personal energy. Like, for example, we all plug in our phones when the battery is empty, right? It's just automatically. But have you ever thought about it? Why don't plug in and recharge myself? And if it's possible for a phone, why it's not possible for ourselves? These analogies there, I think it's just, if it works there, there needs to be a way also it works for me. And that's how I started experimenting. And actually, that's what I thought. I want to have a method where I can recharge my energy in 3 minutes max, because we all know that we can do meditation, right? Very popular here in Europe at the moment. And but it takes some time, and you need to take yourself out, and that's the goal of meditating. But most of the time we are so busy in our jobs, right? And then if I'm running from one meeting to the next one, or my kids around me and need to do that, I need something in that moment, and in the moment I can't get myself out for half an hour to meditate. And that's why I thought I want to have these quick fixes, so it's easier for me to go through my busy life.
Yeah. So what do you do? What are the quick fixes? And I love this because if I studied with Bob Proctor for a year, and he's was very into the scientific world of personal development. So I understand this, but it's once you have to start trying it yourself, right? And when you understand that it doesn't have to be hard. And it sounds like you have stepped into this where you have accepted it and you know how to recharge yourself, your battery. And so how do you do that? Like, can you share with us some things that you do or that we can do?
Yeah, definitely. There are different possibilities. But one thing that's very powerful, and show my clients is, I don't know if you're familiar with these 7 chakras we are having, like this energy center that are connecting our energy body with our organs so that they have enough energy. But before I step in here, I'm I really just want to make one important point because it's so, I think it's really essential, because for most people, when I say energy body, whatever, it's still woo, and esoteric, and people are scared because we all grew up when you can't see it, you can't measure it, you can't touch it, and you can't measure it, and it just doesn't exist, right? This was Newton, and we all grew up like this, and that's why we are so scared if there is something apparently we can't see. And I can tell you, yes, you can't see it, or only few people. You can't touch it, right? But you can measure it. I found a unit on it, but we all can feel it. And there's one thing, because people think it's so woo, it's pure physics, and actually it's pure biology as well. Because if you remember, like your biology class, a simple cell, and we all have luckily trillions of them, and a healthy simple cell, has between the nucleus and the cell membrane minus 70 millivolt, and then it's a really healthy cell. And like a cancer cell has only minus 10 millivolt. It can't keep the tension. That's why it sucks off the energy, and that's why we get sick. And on the other side, speaking about our mind, right, about our brain, so powerful. But how is our brain communicating with all the organs and our limbs and everything to move? This is the nervous system, right? And what's the nervous system? It's milliampere. So through our body is, flowing millicurrents, right? For our physical communication in our body. And we have this millivolts. It's the same like in any mobile phone. And if you have currents and tension, you have this electromagnetic field around it. And from our phone, some people even they are sensitive to it. They even try to protect themselves against this field. And if we believe that any device, right, has this electromagnetic field around it, why it's so difficult to understand that we are having this electromagnetic field around us as well? It's just pure physics. It won't work differently. So we are having this electromagnetic field around it, and I call it the energy body. So we have our physical body and around our energy body. And the chakra are kind of in between. So there's this connection between the energy body so on one side, bring energy from outside into your body, into your cells, so that they also, kind of nurtured with this energy. And the other side, you also bring energy from inside out into your energy body. And these are the chakras. And so there's a simple technique, like you just connect with each of, we can even do it. You connect with each of your chakra, and you just tap them until they're reloaded to 100% and functioning optimal. And you're just tapping through all your chakras up here. And it doesn't take longer than 3 minutes, and you will feel like this tingling in your fingers, and you will feel that the energy is flowing all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's such a good explanation. Thank you. And this is okay. You noticed, okay, energy.
Sorry about so much tech stuff,
No,
but
no,
it's
I
good
just
to
want
explain.
people, I just want to say we can feel your energy. Okay. You are so light. You're so, you just, it's a good energy, right? And
Oh, thank you.
so you're welcome. So when you are out and about and you're grocery shopping or whatever, and you run into someone and like if they're not having a good day, you can feel that bad energy. That's all it is. But there's something that really just hit me. And I've heard this and I know this, but okay, you say energy is everywhere. There's nothing that it's not. And so from my upbringing of um church upbringing, I was taught about God and I didn't understand it. But really, when I look at this, I just think God is energy.
I see the same. I see the same.
That's it. So the more God, the more beauty that we want into our life, raise your energy, right? And
Yeah, in a way, it's have more energy, and there are two things. There you have the energy and the frequency.
yes.
And sorry about the tech stuff again, but
No, please.
it's so important because like coming back to this meditation thing, because it's so popular, and it's just the way I see it. But you're in my world, you're born with your very unique, beautiful frequency. This is you. Some you can say it's your soul, it's your essence, whatever, but this is your frequency. And during your upcoming or upbringing, like you get on these limiting beliefs, you learn from your parents, your grandparents, people around you, you're in certain events, and all these things are kind of put on top of your frequency. And there's a result is a new frequency, let's call it this way. And by 18, you think this frequency, this is you. But it's not. It's a mixture of everything that happened to you. And what I think is, in a way, is my goal is to remove all these frequencies that are put on top of your beautiful, unique frequency, and to let that go. Right. And I think compared it to mindset work, it's so much easier than, because it's not about becoming somebody else. It's about letting go. And I think it's also very important that we are vibrating on different frequencies. Like if you're sad or angry, you see just by my body language when I say sad, but it even falls down. This is a completely different frequency. It's a lower frequency, and especially shame and guilt are the lowest frequency we can vibrate on. And if you have stored a lot of shame and or you feel guilty about many things, or you have this sadness and grief in you, then this is kind of your main frequency you're vibrating on. And then of course you can do a meditation, and then you will feel lighter and better. But most of the time, as soon as you open your eyes and get back into your normal life, you poof, fall back to this very strong frequency. And here's the engineers coming back in again. To really change that, you need to get out these low vibrating emotions from your system, and then you're automatically vibrating on a much higher frequency. And then you also have more energy, because what is a frequency? A low frequency is like, it goes like this, very slow, right? And the high frequency is like, and there's a lot of energy stored in it, right? And you can feel it, right? And then you feel like, oh, this is a good day. And what I wanted to say is, if you really, if you have low energy and on a low frequency, you're in survival mode most of the time. And which in a way means you just have these repetitive days, everything is kind of gray, it's the same. And in contrast to that, if you really have a lot of energy, you see so many opportunities and solutions. And why? Because you have the energy to execute them, to do them actually. And this is why people with lots of energy perceive life so much easier, because yeah, you can fall like in big holes, but you have the tools to get out of there, and you see the solutions, right? And that's the game changer.
Oh, thank you so much. You have such a good way of explaining this. And I've been doing this work for a while, but this has helped me a lot.
Oh,
So
thank you.
thank you, you guys. Like Cornelia is spot on. You have a way of explaining it that's different. I love this because you come from that knowledge background and combined it with the feeling, because energy is just that feeling. But like it's all noticing, it's awareness. So it's just being aware of when you're not feeling good and you're feeling that low energy. Why is that? And like you said, it's all about letting go, because that's our past talking to us, or the future, because we're afraid, we have fear. So, and I, like you, okay, so believe that it can be easy. It can.
Yeah, you
And
can
so,
remove a belief like this in a second. It's just a frequency, and you say gone, and you activate a new one. It's just that's what you say. It's about awareness, and that's so true. If you open yourself up, there are other and easier ways, then they are there.
yes. And so you have put your information into a book, Change Your Energy, Change Your Life.
Yes. I already said to Roberta before, I'm sorry, this is just a flyer, because I was on a book event last week, and I was reading there, and then I sold all the books I had at home. So this is but that's the way how it looks like. Yeah. And you can get it on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles, everywhere.
Yes, thank you. What a problem to have. What a good problem to have, running out of books. Um,
Yeah.
so when when was this released? What brought you to this point of deciding to write a book?
Um, Actually, this is a very good question, because I never wanted to write a book. I know there are people out there, they say, I'm going to write a book. And I said, I don't want to write a book. And then, I said, and then I started, and it's so funny. I still really need to laugh. Yeah, I'm laughing now about it, because, and it was in beginning of 2023, like when more and more like clients or people I was talking to, you should write a book about it. And I thought, I don't have anything to tell in a book, right? And then it kind of kept going. And then I met a lady, and she said, yeah, I had this book coach, maybe you want to talk with her. And then I thought, yeah, maybe I can talk to her and find out, well, what I need to think about it, if I really want time, I'm going to write a book. And then in a way it ended up, yeah, why I shouldn't write a book, right? Why not, right? And so it shifted the energy. And then so I sat down, right, and wrote the book in 16 weeks. Like each week I wrote one chapter, and it was kind of, so I just, every evening between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m., I was sitting outside in the terrace, like in the sky, and writing my book. And it kind of flew out. It was so easy to write. And what I didn't think about was that all the formatting and editing and everything took even longer than the writing process itself, right? So, and then it was published in October, yeah, actually to Halloween. Because the story behind this, there's one chapter in the book, don't give energy vampires a chance. And that was kind of the hook for to release it on or to launch it on at Halloween.
Okay. Okay, I love that. Yes.
Yeah, we all know these people, or even sometimes activities like you're with somebody on the phone, or meeting with somebody, or you're doing something, and then you kind of feel
Yeah.
completely drained. And this, we all know that. And there in the book there are then exercises, kind of how you can protect against this energy vampires. Only 3 minutes, like, so you can do it even in the restroom, in a restaurant. Or it's also what I think is so important for women, especially because many women have problems. Me too. Like I'm a completely people's pleaser, right? To say no, and I have a lot of energy. I can do many things, but it's also a process to say no. And that's why I discovered or developed this exercise, like setting energetic boundaries. And it's all about claiming your own space. This is me. And like if you really do it every morning, people will feel it, right? And it's kind of a barrier for them to kind of even approach you and ask you, can you please do this for me? They feel it and they don't even ask. So you don't even have to say no. So I thought, yeah, this is something I want to, have in my life. And this is this energy work, right? It's so subtle and implicit. There's no confrontation in a way, because you can, just by shifting energies, you can solve many things.
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree with that. And, you know, you were so patient. I have to tell everyone, I just moved in to this home like 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. You and I had a call the first day that I came into this house. It was no furniture. It was cold. Just had internet, I believe, that day. I don't even know if I had internet, but anyway, we tried our best to have a phone call. And you were just so calm and so, I needed your energy that day. Thank you. And you
Oh,
just,
pleasure.
you're like, it's all good, because I was a little frantic. And we need to remember, I tried to take on too much, and I probably could have postponed our call, but I felt like, no, I don't want to cancel, so when we realized too, what, like you said, we can take on a lot, but be honest and be good to yourself and say, this is too much. Understand when you're like, okay, if I'm frantic, then I need to slow down, calm down, and perhaps, you know, change a meeting. It's okay to do that. I don't want to cancel on people, but when we can't show up as our best selves, then we're not doing other people, service. And so it's all about that energy and that frequency that we're on. And so you felt my energy. You're like, okay, she needs some time. She'll be back.
Yeah, exactly. It was completely fine, right? And we're all humans, right?
Yes. And we had a beautiful call. I said, I'm going to start recording as soon as we get on the phone, or on Zoom, because we had a great conversation about blessing and releasing your new home. So blessing it and releasing some of the old energy that may have been, trapped here. And so I wish we would have recorded that, but I guess that wasn't meant to be. And maybe that's another episode for us, right?
Yeah, you can share your experiences. Yeah, that would be fun.
Yes, absolutely. And I was saying to you, I love how your logo, or not your logo, but your mantra is to your energy is your business card.
Yeah, for me, it's in a way so true, because we can make ourselves look good and whatever, and try to show up confident, or even have a different body language, but people feel, right, if it's fake, or if it's your true you. And I think this is also part of our success. And on the other side, I think is, most entrepreneur, they don't see the link between your personal development and the growth of your business. Because if you have your own business, it's so connected with your personal energy. And your business can only grow to the amount of or to the limits of your limiting, or your belief system, of your values, and how you see the world. And if you want to grow further, right, you have to remove these energy blockades, I call it. And then, so giving you personally the space, your energy to grow, and also your business. And many people, many entrepreneurs, don't see this link. And that's why I say your energy is always with you in any call, whatever you post on social media. It's your energy, it's in there. And that's why it's so important, how to manage your energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so I think there was an episode that you were on someone's podcast, I believe, and it was I wrote it down here, but you say that money is energy. And I I love this, and I want you to touch a little bit on that because people that are struggling, okay? A lot of people are struggling, and I hear all the time how, they can't afford this and this is too expensive, and I hear a lot of lack. And so how can we change, our energy to just attracting more money into our lives?
That's a very, very good question. And here I think there is no 3 minute shortcut, unfortunately.
Okay. Okay. So, and this could be our next call, right? We might have to
Oh
come back on
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There are many things to talk about, but in a way, it's all about, as I said before, if you really look around, that most successful people, they have like really, they have a certain amount of energy, so they really do certain things, but because it's also about acting. But I think the key is really your energy mindset, how you think about money, how you see money, how you feel about money. And I think for really successful people, they treat money like their best friend. And so the question would be to you, and also to your audience, how do you treat money, right? Are you happy when it's there? And do you spend time with money? Yeah. Do you look at your bank account? How do you feel when you pay invoices, right? And how do you feel do you say thank you when you pay at the cashier in the supermarket, that you actually do have the money to? So there is really a lot behind that. But I think just start looking at money as it is, on talking to money and talking about money as if it would be your best friend.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because what do? We're like, "Oh, this isn't enough. I wish I had more." But instead of that, changing it to gratitude and thank you, just being so grateful for the money that you do have. And like you said, the money that you have to be able to pay the invoice. Thank you. Right.
Yeah,
And it brings more.
and even for the service, because you got something in exchange for what you're paying, right? So it's not that you're just giving off your money, it's you received something for it, right? And do you really appreciate that, what you got for it?
True. So when you're paying your electric bill, your heat, you're so grateful for that warmth. You're not just grateful that you have the money to pay it. You're grateful that you have the money to pay it and that you're able to keep yourself warm. And we have so much to be grateful for.
Yeah, and especially for the money we are having, right? So yeah, that's what I think helps a lot to and also, open yourself up. What's your belief system about? I grew up like I have to work hard to earn money, right? But it doesn't need to be this way. Money can, there are millions of ways money could come into my life, right? I don't need to focus only on the one that I need to work hard, right? And I'm always surprised, like all of a sudden then some money comes from somewhere and I didn't even think about that. And that's what I think is this fascinating way to play around with energies. I think it's always this joy. So you shift something, you manage something, and then you just relax in a way and wait what's happening now, right? And most of the time, the solution is so much better than you would have ever thought about it. And I don't know if you have time. What I mean with this is, like, one of my clients, she had a deputy, and the deputy was kind of she was younger and she really wanted to make a career, but her boss was kind of in her way, so she kind of tried to not blackmailing, but she will kind of try to bypass her boss, right? And then and so the boss was my client, so she came to me and said, well, what can I do? Because when you're in a corporate world, something like this happens, it's kind of can be very time consuming, because then you have to go into conflict management. You have maybe mediation, and she didn't want to go down this route. You have to confront her, speak, and then the energy change. And so she asked me, is there any other way to solve that? And yeah, let's look into it. And so we looked into it, what was energetically actually between these two ladies, and we solved that. And I said, so from my point of view, we can't do more at the moment. Let's see what happens. And like 2 months later, the deputy showed up and said, I'm resigning. I got this extreme great career chance in a different company. And and my client, she now could hire really a deputy supporting her. So everybody kind of was happy. And it was just done with 3 hours energy work. And it's the best solution for everybody.
Yeah. Wow. That is amazing. I love what you're doing. Gosh, you've helped so many people, and you're so relatable too. You're so knowledgeable, relatable, and you've done the work. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad that we were connected
Me
through
too.
mhm, through a mutual friend. She knew. She knew.
Yeah, she's a star herself, right? And
Yeah.
and you are as well, because you're holding this space and the energy high for
Yeah.
others to show up and bring their vision and their skills into the world. And I think this is really the future, that we kind of support each other, right? And I think that's the way the new kind of energy is going to work, with collaboration and corporations, and to achieve so much more. So thank you so much
Absolutely.
for holding this space.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I've come a long way with from when I just began the podcast a year ago. And this has helped me so much become a better speaker and communicator. And that's what my goals were. And so now that I am getting more comfortable, now I take it off of me, because I was very nervous, right? So I was nervous and uncomfortable at first, because anything that's scary and new is a little uncomfortable, and that's okay. So
Yes.
I'm stepping more into the comfort. This is feeling more natural to me, and I absolutely love it. And I'm so grateful that I get to have people on here like you. And because I want people to know about this, I want people to know about energy. Because once you change that, and I'm still working every day, and I know I will for the rest of my life. We're a work in progress, aren't we?
Yeah, but I think, yes, sometimes it's work, but I think sometimes it's also fun.
See, I
I have to
love how
point
you put
out that.
I love that, because no, it's so true. Um, because when we say the word work, we're like, oh, that sounds hard.
Exactly.
And it doesn't have to be hard. And I
No,
think,
sometimes it can be really challenging. There, I would be also, I have times where I'm really sad, or I don't know where to go, but there is always it's easier to get out of there, and then yeah, but then you find your spirit and your purpose and why you're all this doing, and then you're back in on track, and yeah, that's why I'm doing, and it's fun.
yes, yes. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. And all right, if you want to come back on here, because I know that you just teased everyone with your money. Money is energy. Now everyone's very intrigued, and I'm sure we're going to have to do an episode on this because I want to dive deep into it if you would like to.
Yeah,
Um,
sure. I'm really thank you so much for having me back, right? It will be a pleasure.
Yeah, yeah, because I think a lot of people really need that and they need to have a better understanding. And so you do such a great job explaining everything. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. It has been a pleasure getting to know you better.
Thank you so much, Roberta. It was like really an amazing hour or even more, right? And I
Right.
enjoyed it so much. And sending you and your audience all the positive vibes from all over Switzerland with no snow, but
Okay,
good
imagine that.
energy.
We have snow here in the Midwest.
Yes, so lucky
of
you.
the of the United States. It's very beautiful, I must say. I always say if it's going to be cold, it might as well go ahead and snow because it just makes it so pretty. But all thank you again. And I want you to have a wonderful day, Cornelia. Let's get you back on here again soon. And thank you everyone for joining us today. And you know, like I said at the beginning, if you could subscribe and like and comment on these videos, then we will be able to have um, amazing speakers like Cornelia on here. And so, and that helps everyone. So thank you again, Cornelia. Thank you
Thank you.
everyone for Thank you everyone for being here today and have a blessed day and take care. And if you go, make sure you go and get the book, Change Your Energy, Change Your Life. Okay? Um and
And keep your energy up.
just keep it up. Just stay nice and yeah. Just like Cornelia had this beautiful smile on your face and you will attract more beauty into your life, right?
That's the goal. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you everyone and make sure you reach out to her too. You're a coach as well. Energy coach.
Yes, I'm offering, you can even book like a complimentary half an hour personal energy session with me where we can have a look, what's your biggest problem, and we can outline how we can shift your energies.
Okay. Thank you. And we'll have that in the link below in the bio and everything. So make sure you check that out. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed day, and we will see you all soon.